Okay, our next project up is called Pilikia, A Climate for Change, and filmmaker Anthony Aalto is up. Give him a big hand.
We're in a war for survival. Our way of life is under attack. Climate change is an existential threat. So, as you can see, I'm up here for the doom and gloom portion of the proceedings today. You know, the last time we faced the threat that we face today was in World War II. And in World War II, it wasn't just soldiers and sailors who were fighting. Housewives became Rosie the Riveter. School kids started digging victory gardens. Kupuna went knocking door to door to sell war bonds. Why did they do that? They did it because they felt engaged. They could see their way of life was under threat, and they felt like everybody had to do their part. Well, guess what? We're in the same situation today, and we're not all doing our part. So the purpose of our project, and the good news is to explain to people that we are still in time to avoid the worst, but only if we all act together, if we all act now with extreme urgency. So the goal of our project is to educate and engage people, the people of Hawaii, to do just that. We're going to show them how bad things are already. We're going to show them how much worse they will get if we just keep on with business as usual. But more importantly than that, we're going to engage people and fill them with hope by entertaining them and inspiring them with stories of real people who are already working in government, in businesses, in non-profits, and as individuals to make real change. So here's a couple of snippets.
It's very clear that the rain bomb that fell on Hanalei on April 14, 2018 was the first climate change disaster to hit Hawaii. And the poor folks cut off by a dozen landslides on the road to Wainiha were probably our first climate change victims. I guarantee you they will not be our last.
And as we were driving out there, it was already pouring rain. I've never seen water on the highway like that. Our crew had a rescue truck and our fire engine behind.
The river normally flows out to the ocean about a quarter mile from where I'm sitting right now. So it jumped the bank and flowed all the way across the valley and was rushing out to the ocean, pulled car out of the parking lot into the ditch.
I stepped down to the bottom, to the ground. I got ground level and the water was about this high and it was just rushing.
The water pressure just came out of nowhere and grabbed me and it sucked me down.
I'm completely surprised that no one died that day.
Basically what we're doing is filling these little pots with soil so that we can propagate the seeds inside them. Professor Mora out here is trying to raise awareness for climate change.
Our commitment to Dr. Mora is to collect, scarify, and plant 10,000 seedlings. Actually 11,000.
I want to make Hawaii the first carbon neutral place in the world.
That's why I'm here volunteering, doing this kind of stuff.
More trees.
1, 2, 3. 11,000!
So Green Island Films, thanks. Thanks for the applause. I actually am embarrassed to say that was all scouting material. The stuff we've got in the can is a lot better. We just haven't had any time to edit it because, as you'll hear in a moment, we've been given 9 months to make 3 hours of film. We've been making documentaries for 7 years here in Hawaii, and this year we've been given an extraordinary opportunity. Hawaii News Now came to us. For those of you who don't know, they control the local affiliates of CBS and NBC, as well as a third independent station. They came to us and they asked us to make 3 one-hour documentaries about climate change in Hawaii, and they helped us find the funding. I'm not asking anybody for any money today. The only thing is they told us that we only had 9 months to make 3 films. Each film is going to broadcast 3 times on each of their stations, so that's 27 hours of commercial-free prime time. They're doing a huge 3-month promotional campaign with 600 public service announcements. They're going to involve their news anchors in doing news features. They're building a website for us. So as a result of all of this support, Hawaii News Now is projecting that more than 90% of the TV audience in the state is going to watch this series. So it's a huge, huge educational opportunity, much bigger than we've ever experienced before, and we need help to exploit that opportunity, to leverage it. So the first thing we're looking for is an impact producer, something I too had never heard about until Sunday, and we just saw the previous segment before lunch was all about impact production, so I've already got some homework. But if there's anybody out there who can see that this is a huge opportunity and that we can have a chance to take this and have an impact around the country, I'm looking for an impact producer. We're already raising funds to build a toolkit that we want to offer for free in Hawaii schools. It'll have actual hands-on materials, it'll have story ideas, it'll have everything that a teacher needs to be able to start to bring climate change into the classroom here in Hawaii, because a lot of teachers actually don't have that at the moment. And it's not just going to focus on English language or history, it's going to cross all of the core subjects, including STEM. We want a lot of hands-on STEM subjects in the toolkit. So if anybody wants to help us with that, funding, content, helping with the lesson plans, helping with outreach to the educational community here, we would very much like that. Another thing we'd like to do is we'd like to use this platform to build an app so that people here in Hawaii can work out what their carbon footprint is and immediately be linked to activities that they can engage in here in Hawaii to help reduce that. So they can find out about this weekend's tree planting or next weekend's beach cleaning, or they can make a commitment to go to Meatless Mondays and within the app then instantly see what the impact is on their carbon footprint so that they can follow the reduction of their carbon footprint in real time. But we don't write software. We don't know how to do that. We need somebody who can help us write an app to do that so that we can leverage this, and we'll use pieces of the film, video clips, to help push the app and to help push the toolkit in schools. And finally, the last thing we're looking for is for a way to tie the series into local communities. We want help with outreach. We especially want to reach Native Hawaiian communities and youth groups. Ultimately, we think that this series, Hawaii has been a tremendous example across the country in all sorts of ways. California's energy policy is modeled on ours. Massachusetts is about to follow our example. We're the first state in the nation to sign on to the Paris Accord, to commit to being carbon neutral. There are so many ways in which we've led. I'm hoping that this exercise of getting almost the entire state to watch an educational series and then become engaged, find activities to be engaged in, can be taken up and become a national model. But again, we need help with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Very powerful stuff. So right off the bat, you came out and said you're not looking for money, but you're looking for support, post-production support.
So for the outreach stuff, for the impact stuff, we don't have funding for that yet. But I'm busily knocking on doors already.
Got it. 9 months to make your 3 one-hour pieces, right?
That's it. Yeah. Okay. That's why I have
right
bags under my eyes.
Okay. Well, let me get
bags under my bags.
Great pitch, first of all. My name is Paul. I'm a co-founder of OneGen. So the reason we founded OneGen a year ago was so that we could help visionaries like you who don't know anything about software. So we do app. So you have our commitment on building the app.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Right over here.
Hi, Melanie Day with Bishop Museum. I wanted to say it's great to have the level of urgency. I think we're on the same page after Climate Action Week in UN and Hawaii being named the one of the first 8 2030 UN Sustainable Development Hubs around the world. We at the museum are on board and are elevating this as primary issue of importance. So at the board level, at the staff level, we've got initiatives that are moving. So I think there are really plenty of opportunities to partner on the outreach side, the educational curriculum development side. I think also for us on the research side, so we're going to be doing both on the, I would say, one, walking the walk for us as an institution, the other, talking the talk, which is helping to educate and continue to raise that awareness. And then the third is really about partnering to make impact. I think the kind of app that you're talking about doing, we're also partnering with other organizations to look at what kinds of challenges can be put out for our community, and how do we, again, partner with the different groups, schools and other organizations to really align. One of the other things we're doing is working to develop a war room for climate change, both here and internationally. So that's something that I would love to talk more about. And I wanted to say for everyone and all those who pitched earlier, Bishop Museum is here to be both a resource and also a place for screenings and dialogues and programming. So I'm very excited with all that everybody has put forward today. Thank you.
Thank you. Big round of applause. Thank you very much. Right over here. Pass the mic. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Amy Donzis, and I'm the owner of a custom apparel company here called Olamana. But I'm working in Hawaii's public schools to create the business design program. And we're creating a program where the kids are going to run the schools like a business, creating micro businesses. Environmental issues is a huge one we're working on. I'm working with Kapilani Community College, so I think it would be I could put you in contact from the dean that's working there and connect you with some of the work we're doing with the schools, because I think there's a whole outreach communication that we can do to really link in with the community, and I would love to be able to help connect you with any of that.
Excellent. I'm going to come look for you afterwards.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We got one in the back over here.
Aloha. Aloha mai kako. My name is Lala Nas. My background is in mass tourism and past 10 years on place-based community development, looking at indigenizing our economics in different sectors. Most recently, I've joined the Mayor's Office in Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency as the Climate Resilience and Equity Manager. So this concept of equity and climate change is at the forefront globally. It's trending, it's new, it's pushing the boundaries of bureaucracy. And I think in the creative realms of storytelling, the social, emotional, cultural intelligence and skill sets are really important to start to incept into our government and policy making. If we don't change that, we can educate as much as we want, we can try and get people to shift, but right now one of the biggest barriers is our government and our policies and our global current economic system. And I just want to basically say, on the inside, offering a hand and allyship to the work you're doing in helping me shift from the inside as well. And also just throwing it back on you as far as looking at the 1,000 years old of indigenous knowledge to place and looking at education spaces that have already been doing this in many ways for the past 30 or 40 years, the importance of that collaboration, because we are living amongst an indigenous culture that's almost gone extinct and has gone through climate change. So just reaffirming those sets of values to really make sure that it's coming from the roots up. But mahalo for what you're doing. It's incredibly important. And however I can be a support from a bureaucracy level, I'm more than happy to do so. Create some change. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Aloha mai kako, Ova Meliana Aluli Meyer. I have a big family. I can volunteer my family. This is actually what we do. We get each other into trouble that way. So I can say that my sisters over at UH West Oahu, a lot of you know my sister Miley, Manu. I actually have 5 sisters and a brother. And we're just kind of do this kind of work. I am a filmmaker, an educator, and that kind of stuff. So I can tell you in terms of outreach and community, we're a good family to work with. So, but I'm just gonna also say thank you to Lala and thank you to Melanie, because our community here is very capable and very able and very eleu. In other words, we can do a lot together. We're not add-ons. We're not extras, and we certainly aren't anything else but deep ka ko'o. and kokua to the larger subject of climate change. So if that's the kind of energy you want, then we're all in. I'll let my family know later. Thank you very much.
I think we had one right here in the middle.
Hi, I'm Corey Tong from San Francisco and from the islands. Thank you very much, Anthony. May I ask a content question? So could you describe a little bit more about the 3 episodes? I think you mentioned the themes, but is it going to be 1, 2, and 3, as in like the doom, you know, and then ending with the hope? And also, you said you have 9 months. Can you describe a little more about where it's going to go exactly? I wasn't exactly clear on the channel, the broadcast. And then are you also is that only going to be in Hawaii, or will you allow it to go out internationally before or after? Thanks.
All right, let's see if I can remember all of those things. So let me start off by saying, because a couple of speakers have talked about the indigenous piece in it, obviously it's central to what we're doing. You can't talk about an appropriate way to think about water or farming these days without referring back to the long history here and the wisdom, the ahupua concept, which we're all familiar with now. It's going to be in there. We have a scientist who talks about how the EPA adopted its new watershed management rules in 1995. He said, yeah, they could have done it quicker if they just translated the original from the Hawaiian written in 1465. Of course, it wasn't written, but that was the point he was trying to make. We're catching up with the indigenous community, and obviously that's going to be in there. The films are going to broadcast. I don't know how they're going to be split up yet. We're still so busy getting material, and so many of the different elements of climate change are linked that it's hard to know which pieces we're going to link together in each of the hours. So I can't actually answer your question on structure. You can imagine making 3 films in 9 months is so much work that we're focusing on the process of gathering the material at the moment. It's going to broadcast on the CBS station and the NBC station and an independent station. So their call signs are KGMB, KHNL, and K5. And each of them will be broadcasting the film 3 times. So that's where we get the 27 hours. It's also going to stream on Hawaii News' Facebook and website. And just to gauge of what that means, with our last film, which was about the homeless crisis here, they put our trailer up on their Facebook and their website, and within less than a week, we had 1.2 million unique views. So they have an enormous reach through that. Once the film is finished, our commitment to Hawaii News now is for those broadcasts. Once it's done, we can take the film anywhere we like, nationally or internationally. NITA has already told us that they'd like to distribute it through public television, because they did the same with our last film. Is there anybody from NITA here? We'd rather not do it, because last time not only did they not pay us for our homeless film, they actually made us pay their satellite distribution costs. So it'd be nice if we could make a little bit of money from after sales after we broadcast here. Does that answer all of your questions?
I was going to say, you guys can talk later, because it sounds like you got some distribution advice for these guys and some ideas. Cool.
We got one in the back here.
Hello, my name is Danica Ramos. I work with Elemental Accelerator. We're a nonprofit startup accelerator. I know you were just mentioning earlier that you needed support for just knowing the different STEM programs across the state. Elemental Accelerator recently worked with a website developer and created a Root and STEM website, which aggregates all the STEM programs here in Hawaii, ranging from kindergarten all the way up to undergraduate and postgraduate. So I'd be happy to share that website for you. I think it's an ongoing resource, and we're still working on it, but I think it would be a great resource for you just to get a landscape of the different STEM programs that are across the state.
Excellent, thanks.
Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, one over here.
And what's been amazing about today is just that everyone's about supporting each other and elevating each other's stories, and it's so rare, even in my brief experience in filmmaking, that happens, and I'm just really moved by that. And so in that, I guess I'm reaching out to maybe get support from you. We have a short film on Indigenous climate knowledge that's showing Monday night at Honolulu International Film Festival. And we'd love to partner with you, because we're in the same stage of looking for education resources. I'd also thought about an app in terms of being able to do an app about climate pledges. And so ours is focused actually on the Cook Islands, but it's all relevant. So it's about indigenous food security practices and the knowledge that people already have about their environment and elevating that and strengthening that. So the film is completed, but we definitely would love to partner with you on, and it's only 14 minutes, so hopefully maybe.
Well, I see some opportunities for collaboration between media makers, which I think is so important. There are lots of different stories being told about climate, from these feature length to your short film that's going to become a feature. So I would love it if all you filmmakers could agree to create a little working group so that you're collaborating, and as you gain knowledge about your partners and the climate justice movement and organizations, that you share that knowledge and make sure you keep connecting so we don't have to reinvent the wheel, so that your impact producer doesn't start from scratch, right? Because there are tremendous stories being told, and the importance of the climate crisis, but also, as my friend over here talked about climate justice, right? Of how we do this work. Who else do we have? Anyone? Yes, right here. Linda is coming to you from the right, from your right.
I just wanted to make one note on that, is I actually work for the Climate Justice Alliance. So we're a translocal alliance-based membership organization with 70 member organizations across the country and the territories working on climate justice issues. So anybody looking to get their projects out to more people, and like nationally and even internationally, feel free to get in touch with me and I can see what we're able to do to support you all.
And your name is?
My name is Mark Chavez.
Thank you, because I was looking for you in the room. I was like, where's Mark? I can't call on him because I don't know who he is, so thank you.
All right. Okay, well, that's it. Have a big hand for Anthony.
Thank you.